Morning I was scrolling on Instagram, which is not something I usually do. Right? So I'm not really an Instagram type of person. But anyways, I was on Instagram this morning, scrolling. Then I stumbled on this ad, and it was one of those make money online ads. Again. Right. So in the past, I went down the rabbit hole. Just watching different ads on different webinars, on different programs, on different VSLs, and different everything. Right, just in the hopes that oh, one day I'm going to make it and become successful. So long story short, the ad was basically being like a high ticket closer. So basically, what that means is like some person wants to purchase like a very expensive product, right? So let's assume, for example, try to take up something, but let's just assume this blade, right? So this rusted blade is worth $10,000, for example, right? So when the person, somebody wants to buy this stuff. So before the person is obviously going to pay like 10 grand for this rusted blade, they want to speak to somebody just to for like confirmation or persuasion or whatever. Right. So the person on the call that you end up speaking to before he purchases this, that's the closer. So when the person eventually goes ahead to buy this stuff, the person that he spoke to on the phone that just gave him like the last final persuasion, whatever, that's the closer. So the person is going to get a percentage, like a commission, so maybe like 5%, 10%, 2%, whatever it ends up being, based on the way the business owner and the closer like agrees. Basically, that's what it is in Sunday anyway. So it's like you help business owners to sell their products in the sense that you just join this cause for people that want to buy really expensive shit. Then you just like persuade those people, that they should go ahead and buy. So that's what high ticket closing is all about. So I've heard of it. This is not the first time I'm hearing of this business model or this skill or also whatever. So I've heard of it in the past, and I've really wanted to be part of it because sales and all that is something that I'm interested in. And even though when I work a sales job right now, but I'm shit at it. And one of the two reasons, or the main reason why I hate it, one of the main reasons why I hate it is like a lot of time we go out to look for these customers, right? So our company, like what we are selling is like internet services type of stuff, right? So it's like you go out is door to door, so you knock on random people's doors and pitch your internet service, whatever. So it's the reason why it's very frustrating is because you like when you go out, you are just going to talk to everybody. So you don't know who is actually interested and wants to actually buy it. I know it's just a random person, right? So like if you go out to talk to like maybe 300 people, for example, maybe only two people might actually be interested. The remaining 298 people, they are just random people and they don't give two fucks, right? So sometimes it can be very exhausting and demotivating. But why like the high ticket closing, at least this one is like these are people that are already interested, that they want to buy already, they just need like a little bit of more clarity. So long story short, I heard, I watched all this and I'm impressed. It was like a little webinar ad, whatever. Obviously it was like for like a course, like the guy is going to teach you his course or his mentorship or whatever the fuck. And I decided not to follow through on it. Two reasons. First reason is obviously I didn't have the money. But even if I did have the money because I can like work and save up and whatever, it's like I remember the last time I did something like this. So the last time I also saw a course online, and that was 2020 Ethereum. So this was 3 years ago, about 3 years ago. So I still saw a course online like this similar to this. I think that one was like affiliate marketing, whatever the fuck it was. So I went ahead and bought the course and all that. 3 years later, and I got no results from that program. And do you want to guess why? It's not because the program didn't work, it's because of me. And that time I bought that course, that was not the only one. I bought two of those courses actually. I bought that one and another one, and I got no results from either of the two because I did not even do what the course said, right? So like the first one, I watched it to a reasonable level, like I followed the course to a reasonable level. Once one is came time to actually implement the steps to get the results, like I didn't really do shit, right? The second one, I barely even watched the course, right? And eventually, I lost like access and login to whatever. I was trying to message the admin guy again that can he help me, but oh well. So it's like the reason why I brought up this little story, and before all this, the thousands or tens of thousands of make money online videos, business model, online ideas, make money online, whatever videos that I've watched, strategies, thoughts, plans, all these things. So it's like we like to we like this novelty. Like we like to look for. I like to say we like to look for what is not lost. Because in my mind now, I'm thinking like, oh, this high ticket sales stuff is good. Like this has to be the one that is going to take me to that next level. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it doesn't work, but it's just like the main thing to me, in my own opinion, I feel like after years of basically living like an idiot, if I would say, I feel like the thing that's going to get you to that next level is mostly the fundamental things, like the foundation. So every other thing stacked on top of that is not really as important, because once that foundation is bad, it's like whatever else comes on, like if the foundation is shit, the whole building is going to crumble. Right? So that's in my own opinion. So it's like whether it ends up doing, affiliate marketing or high ticket sales or drop shipping or agency or YouTube automation or TikTok or this or that, or like whatever the fuck. It's like if you are not somebody that can stick to something for long enough, if you're not somebody that can work hard every single day, if you're not somebody that can stay focused, if you're not somebody that can stick to one thing, even whether the thing is fun, whether the thing is boring, whether the thing is popping off, whether the thing is getting no results, if you're not somebody that can basically follow simple instructions from like your mentor or your guide or whatever the fuck, right? Like if you're not somebody that can do all those basic things, like the business opportunity doesn't really matter, because I could give you the most lucrative thing in the world and you will still fumble it. Like you still wouldn't, like it won't mean anything, right? Just because you like those fundamental skills are not there, right? It's just like talking to a girl as well. Like they could give you the most friendly, most vibey, like the girl that is the easiest person to talk to. If you're just somebody that cannot speak properly, like it's not like you're actually disabled, like you're just retarded, right? You just have very, 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 very terrible social skills. No matter how easygoing this girl is, like you just would not still be able to talk to her, because the foundation, the fundamentals is fucked. So I like to make these videos as a reminder to myself, because a lot of times in the future I end up watching it back and always surprised at the things I'm able to share. But also it's just like to you as well, like maybe right now you might be there and you watch all these people online like, oh wow, this guy just bought a Lamborghini SVJ, this guy is younger than me and he's making all this money and I need to get into what he's doing. Before you start to look at all that, why don't you look at where you started from? Because one thing Alex Hormozy likes to call it is have built bridges. The way I feel it works is like each of these things are bridges, right? So this is where you are, this is the destination where you technically become successful, right? So you need a bridge that connects these two places together, and when this bridge is complete, that's when the dollar or the money can walk across. So the money can walk from here to here, right? Like that's when the money starts to flow. But a lot of us, we start building this bridge, and maybe this is drop shipping, for example. You start building this bridge, you get to this point, it's no longer as fun, it's no longer as sweet, it's kind of challenging, challenges arises, this one, that one, you're not as disciplined. You stop building this one, the next shiny object idea comes, oh, high ticket sales, start building this bridge, you stop here. Oh, YouTube automation, start to break this one again, you stop here. Oh, I don't know, AI agency, blah blah blah, you start building this one, and so on. So at the end of the day, you just end up having like 7 half-built bridges, and neither of them are complete. When the ironic thing is, if you just stop to one and just keep building it all the way, like it might take a while, yes, and obviously some of these different business models, some are faster than others, some are quicker than others, some are easier than others, and so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, they would all, like, you would all get here eventually. Like the bridge will be complete and the money will walk across, right? So it's like a lot of us, we are not patient enough, and we lack all these first order principles, like the basic fundamental stuff that's actually going to make the difference. So it doesn't matter whether it's software, whether it's SaaS, whether it's drop shipping, whether it's agency, whether you're running ads, or you have your coaching course, whatever. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. If you're not able to stick to something for long enough, you're not able to show up when you're tired, you're not able to like rugged it out, whether when the thing is fun, when the thing is popping off, when the thing is slow, when you're angry, when you're sad, when you're happy, when you're in the mood, when you're not in the mood, when you just worked like a 12-hour shift in your job, and when it's like it's a day that you're just home alone to chill and do nothing. Like if you're not able to show up basically every single time, it doesn't matter what the opportunity is, like you're still going to fumble it, right? So obviously in the future I'm still going to learn sales and probably get into the high ticket closing or um like all those type of stuff in future most likely. But it was just a reminder to myself that yeah, but you have this YouTube channel. This YouTube channel is one. I have like I don't know 6 other YouTube channels apart from this one. There was a time I was learning copywriting. There was a time I was learning the AI, whatever. There was like so all these things I'm learning. What happens to them, right? It's like why don't you just double down on those ones? So I was thinking, oh, you know what? This is the new thing. I'm going to start high tickets closing, right? So obviously, like you are free to experiment and learn and do whatever. But at the end of the day, we all know that to become successful is like you just have to stick to one thing for a very long period of time. You have to stick to one thing for a significant amount of time, because if you are constantly switching from one thing to the other, like you're not going to get anywhere. And the last story I will leave you with is, so today is Sunday as I'm recording this video, right? I went to church in the morning, so church closed, right? And as I was about, coming home, like I was about to enter my car and all that, right? One guy walked up to me, so it was like he's actually like my brother's friend. He's also my friend as well, but mostly my brother's friend, but he's also my friend. So the very first time I met this guy, like a few months ago, like I just got introduced to him. So I just talking. So he also told me that he does YouTube as well. So like I told him, oh, I've been making YouTube videos since for 6 years now, blah blah blah, and I showed him my like 10 different channels, right? And the sad thing is, like, out of all these 10 different channels, only one of these my channels had like 1,000 subscribers, right? Just because of the whole thing I've explained in this video, that's the reason why none of these channels have grown. But long story short, the guy was kind of impressed because at the time he just started, so he had maybe just 80 subscribers, 100 subscribers, something like that, right? It's like, wow, that's so cool. That's how do I have 1,000? That if it's impossible for me to dash in that channel, like give him the channel just for free, because like I wasn't really using it, I wasn't serious with it and all that, so we just laughed about it anyways. But that was earlier this year, so maybe this was 6 months later, right? So I see him again today. He hasn't been around, so maybe he went to school or whatever. So I finally saw him again today, and so we're still talking about the same YouTube stuff. So all these channels that I've had, right, they are pretty much still exactly the same, barely any growth. But he, on the other hand, that is channel that had 100 subscribers. He said now it's at 5,000. They didn't even say 500, 5,000. Obviously 5,000 is not the biggest number in the world. And the monetization stuff, right, because he mostly posts like YouTube shorts, but the monetization stuff he showed me, and YouTube, not to make the whole long story short, but YouTube, if you want to earn through ads, you either get 4,000 hours of watch time or 10 million views on shorts. They're about to change it next year, double the requirement, which is just dumb. But anyways, he was already at about 2.5 million or 2.4, 2 million thereabouts out of 10 million views. And to me, that was just crazy. Like, I felt so hyped for him that if he just keeps going, right, so probably before the end of this year would have passed the requirements. But after leaving that, like after I left and we talked and all that, I became so ashamed of myself that this is somebody that literally just started, and I'll argue I'm more experienced, more knowledgeable, much more better, so on and so forth. And yes, the guy has gotten 10 times more results than I could ever. Like, if they combine every single channel I have together, I don't think it's going up to 1,500. Maybe. Long story short, to not make the video longer than it needs to be, is like, if I just stuck to that one thing since the very beginning, like, imagine how much further ahead I would be. And it also still gave me some sort of hope, because it's like, if like this guy that I don't like, basically I'm better than, I guess that's egotistical to say though, but like I'm basically more experienced, I've been doing this way longer, I have more idea of what I'm doing and where I want to go. If this guy can get this kind of crazy results, how much more me if I actually just stop jumping around and stop building half-built bridges and just decide to go all in and focus and take it seriously? Imagine how far I would be. So this is like a lesson for my current self, my younger self, my future self, and you as well. Like, don't stop hopping around, stop looking for the next golden opportunity. Like, that thing you've always wanted to do, that thing you've already been doing, that thing you've already started, like, just keep going down that path and just become better, get more skilled, just get better at your shit. The results at the end, like at the other side, you just have to build this bridge. That's the most important part. Once you can build the bridge, the money, the results, the fame, whatever thing you're chasing, is always at the other end of it. But if you don't build the bridge, like, and just go and keep starting new bridges, like, at the end of the day you realize that it doesn't matter the opportunity. Like if I'm not good at it and if I don't do it to the end, there's no result is going to come out from it. So anyways, that's it. Thank you for watching. See ya.